Okay, it's 5:30, so I'm going to go ahead and welcome everybody to the Ottumwa City Council meeting, and I'm going to call the meeting to order. And if everybody would rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, Chris will take the roll.
Councilmember Cavanis.
Here.
Councilmember Basu.
Here.
Councilmember Galloway.
Here.
Councilmember Huffman.
Here.
Councilmember McIntyre.
Here.
Mayor Johnson.
Here. The next item on the agenda is to approve tonight's consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve. Second.
Chris will take the roll.
Councilmember Cavanis.
Here. Yes.
Councilmember Basu.
Yes.
Councilmember Galloway.
Yes.
Councilmember Hoffman.
Yes.
Councilmember McIntyre.
Yes.
Now we need a motion to approve tonight's city council agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
Chris will take the roll.
Councilmember Cavanis.
Yes.
Councilmember Basu.
Yes.
Councilmember Galloway.
Yes.
Councilmember Hoffman.
Yes.
Councilmember McIntyre.
Yes.
The next item is the city administrator's report to council and citizens. I'll turn it over to Phil Rath.
All right. Thank you, Honorable Mayor. So what I'm passing out here, and you should also be receiving an email in your box as well. This is a draft ordinance for the golf cart regulations. At a previous meeting, we had talked about moving forward with considering an ordinance that would allow for the usage of golf carts within the city. So we took a draft, or the Pleasant Hill, Iowa ordinance, tailored it a little bit to the city, and then sent it to the city attorney and the police chief for review, made a couple of adjustments, and now you have a draft in front of you. And so we can do this one of two ways. If you take a look at it and are satisfied, and I'm not saying right this second, but over the next couple days, if everything looks good with this and you wanted to proceed with moving it right to council for consideration, then we would get this renumbered, formatted into an adopting ordinance, and bring that for consideration at a meeting. If there's some areas that you'd like to have further discussion about now that you're seeing a draft of this or something in print, we could always hold a work session to work through any outstanding issues that you might have. If there's a question about usage, or you want to see more restrictions, or what the roads they can drive on, et cetera, those are things we could further discuss in a work session if desired. So if you let either the mayor or myself know your desire after having a chance to review it, then we'll go with the majority of that on the next actions.
If they want to do a work session, we could just add it to the one that we've already got scheduled for July 15th, couldn't we?
We could, depending, that could get a little long, but we could at least add it and then decide at that time if you want to take that up or not. Yeah, that'd be correct. So, just wanted to let the public know that this is still something that's in the works, and now it's in a draft format, and submitted to council for further consideration, and next steps will be at your discretion, a work session, or move to a city council meeting. All right. I didn't have anything else specific for tonight.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the next item is where I ask if anybody would like to speak on any of tonight's agenda items. Okay, then we don't have any public hearings, so we'll go to the one ordinance that we have.
Ordinance number 3226, 2024, amending the municipal code of the city of Ottumwa, Iowa by amending sections 2-233 and 2-234 for the purpose of revising the city's purchasing policies and procedures. Recommendation pass the third consideration and adopt ordinance number 3226, 2024.
Move the recommendation. Second.
Okay, Mr. O'Donnell.
Again, this is amending those two sections, removing specific language to provides a purchase policy can be adopted by resolution. Further, the policy will be reviewed annually and presented to the council for approval at the first regular meeting in July. The proposed policy, again, from last time, there hasn't been any changes, but you will get an advanced copy again so that you have a chance to look it over before the meeting on the 16th, because that's when we'll be bringing forth a request for approval and adoption of that policy.
I'm confused because the recommendation is to do the third and approve it.
It'll be coming back by resolution, correct?
Right. The policy itself has to be approved by resolution, and we come back on the 16th. Yep.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. O'Donnell? If not, Chris will take the roll.
Councilmember Cavaness?
Yes.
Councilmember Basu?
Yes.
Councilmember Galloway?
Yes.
Councilmember Hoffman?
Yes.
Councilmember McIntyre?
Yes.
Janitorial bid for the Law Enforcement Center. Recommendation, award the contract for janitorial services for the building shared by Ottumwa Police Department and Wapello County Sheriff's Office to Stratus Building Solutions for a term of 3 years.
Move the recommendation.
Second.
Okay, Police Chief Farrington.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. We put out a request. We got 3 bids received. This price from Stratus Building Solutions, it's locked in for the next 3 years. Currently, it's actually a cost savings of we had approximately $23,920 budgeted for janitorial services and equipment and supplies. Stratus Building Solutions came in with the lowest bid, $1,360 under that budget. The other 2 bidders, one didn't even really meet the request. They put a bid in for 1 year for $47,520. The next closest bid was for $31,596. And that price would have stayed the same for 3 years. The difference with Stratus Building Solutions is about $6,966 each year, or over the course of those 3 years, a savings to the department at $20,988.
That's who you're currently using now.
No, we were using Dixie cleaning service. She retired as of June, late June. So we had to put out that request to seek new janitorial services for the Law Center.
Is this who Wapello County's also going to go with, or do you know?
So I don't know who Wapello County uses. They will also be doing the shared space at the Law Center, such as our training room, hallways where both entities utilize them. But as far as their jail and their main facility, I don't know who they use for services.
Does council have any questions for Police Chief Farrington?
Did they review this also? And this, what I was reading looked like it was for both parts. Is that wrong?
So there's a portion just for the shared space. So any portion of the building that both the Ottumwa Police Department and the Wapello County Sheriff's Office utilizes, there was a bid in there for that shared space. The RFP that we put out and the information received from Stratus Building, I gave both those packets to Sheriff Phillips to see if he would like to get on board with this company also, outside of the shared spaces.
Okay. But he did not respond to you yet?
No, he's willing to pay half for the shared space. I don't know what he's doing with his facilities under his control.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from council? Okay, if not, Chris will take the roll.
Councilmember Cavaness?
Yes.
Councilmember Basu?
Yes.
Councilmember Galloway?
Yes.
Councilmember Hoffman?
Yes.
Councilmember McIntyre?
Yes.
Thank you.
Now we'll go into resolutions.
Resolution number 149, 2024, authorizing prepayment for 2024 Sutphen Fire Apparatus to receive discounted pricing. Recommendation, pass and adopt resolution number 149, 2024.
Move the recommendation. Second.
Okay. And I believe interim fire chief Pat Short, you're going to take this?
This was presented from the Suffin Company.
that if we were allowed to pay for this truck within the next 30 days, they were gonna give us this reduction of $11,000 and some change. Pretty much it.
Is that how you normally have purchased fire trucks in the past, is just pay for it all up front, or do you know?
I don't know that.
Okay, I just was curious. Because they do have 4 different payment options, I guess, that you could have considered, but this is by far the best one because you get the big discount.
Right. Yeah, if you're gonna pay for part of it, I figured to get the most bang for the buck, go for the whole $11,000. It's
Yeah.
good return.
Does council have any questions?
Do we have any money in the bank?
So we have sufficient funds to cover this until the bonding comes in August.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from council? If not, Chris will go ahead and take the roll.
Councilmember Cavaness?
Yes.
Councilmember Basu?
Yes.
Councilmember Galloway?
Yes.
Councilmember Hoffman?
Yes.
Councilmember McIntyre?
Yes.
Resolution number 151, 2024, removing special assessments applied to a vacant lot on Grove Street from weed cutting assessments from mowing seasons 1995 to 2006, totaling $884 plus interest and administrative fees. Recommendation, pass and adopt resolution number 151, 2024.
Move the recommendation.
Second.
Okay, Zach.
All right, thank you, Mayor, thank you, Council. Irene Sanchez is looking to pick up the tax sale certificate for this property. This is very similar to one we did at the last meeting. We kind of set it up. The county has requested that we consider waiving these mowing assessments that go back quite a while in order to facilitate them taking that tax sale certificate and being able to be responsible for it going forward. The really big change between this one and last one is that these are even older tax sale assessments. I didn't even know until this one that we didn't used to use resolutions for the assessments. We used to just send a letter to the county before 2006. And so these ones that go all the way back to 1995 were in the form of a letter we sent to the county, but that's really the only difference between this one and the last one.
So it's only $884, and she's gonna maintain it going forward, correct?
Well, correct. And also the interest that's owed on the $884 is going to be dismissed with this as well.
But the big plus is we don't have to take care of it.
Exactly. And the fact that we don't have any assessments since 2006, somebody in the neighborhood's probably been taking care of it in those intervening years. She has the adjoining property. I don't know if she's directly been doing that or somebody else, but we don't want to be in a position where we'll have to take over mowing it again in the future.
Any other questions from council? If not, Chris will take the roll.
Councilmember Cavaness?
Yes.
Councilmember Basu?
Yes.
Councilmember Galloway?
Yes.
Councilmember Hoffman?
Yes.
Councilmember McIntyre?
Yes.
Resolution number 152, 2024, authorizing the purchase of a 2024 Chevrolet Trailblazer for the Building and Code Enforcement Department from McGrath Fleet and Commercial for $24,671. Recommendation, pass and adopt resolution number 152, 2024.
Move the recommendation.
Second.
Okay, Zach.
Thank you. The 2025 capital improvement plan budgeted $42,000 to replace vehicle 112, which is a Chevrolet HHR that's exceeded its useful life, with a mid-size four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive SUV for the Building and Code Enforcement Department. This was approved by the Fleet Committee at the December 12, 2023 meeting, and they also approved the specifications at the May 29th meeting this year. We accepted bids until 4 p.m. on June 20th, and the best bid was from McGrath Fleet and Commercial for a Chevrolet Trailblazer at $24,671.
How old was that vehicle?
If you hadn't asked me, I would have known. I really don't want to give an answer without being wrong, but I'd say it's somewhere in the mid-2000s, mid to late 2000s,
Okay.
is what I believe.
What's the plan to get rid of it?
I believe it'll go to auction. That's what's happened with the last vehicles we've gotten rid of.
Okay.
Any other questions from council? If not, Chris will take the roll.
Councilmember Cavaness?
Yes.
Councilmember Basu?
Yes.
Councilmember Galloway?
Yes.
Councilmember Hoffman?
Yes.
Councilmember McIntyre?
Yes.
Resolution number 154, 2024, awarding the contract for demolition and disposal of the condemned property at 903 Silk to Dan Larson in the amount of $7,490. Recommendation, pass and adopt resolution number 154, 2024.
Move the recommendation.
Second.
Okay, Zach.
All right, thank you, Mayor. The structure at 903 Silk was burned by the fire department in a training exercise. The bids here were taken for the demolition, which is cleaning up the burn remain and cleaning up the basement, leveling the lot, that kind of thing. Bids were accepted until 2 p.m. on June 20th. 5 demolition bids were received, and Torres Construction submitted the best bid in the amount of $6,500. However, they did not submit the required bid deposit. They're required to provide either a bond or 10% of the bid as a deposit for that bid, and that was not provided. So Dan Larson had the next best and the only qualified next best bid, which was $7,490. And so staff recommends taking his bid.
Torres Construction has done work for the city before, correct?
They have.
So was this just, you think, an oversight on their part that they forgot to include the bid deposit?
That's what he said, yeah. He's going to be bidding on some upcoming work, and he said he's going to make sure he does that. It is in the
Pretty
bid
clear
packet, it's pretty
instructions that
clear.
they have to include that.
Yeah, and he's won them before, and he's done it the right way before.
Any questions from council for Zach?
Have we dealt with Dan Larson previously?
I would say Dan Larson probably does more of this work than any other contractor.
Thank you.
Any other questions? If not, Chris will take the roll.
Councilmember Cavanagh?
Yes.
Councilmember Basu?
Yes.
Councilmember Galloway?
Yes.
Councilmember Hoffman?
Yes.
Councilmember McIntyre?
Yes.
Resolution number 155, 2024, approving the MOU between the City of Ottumwa and Teamsters Local number 238 regarding the salary of Water Pollution Control Facility Maintenance Technician and authorizing the mayor to sign. Recommendation pass and adopt resolution number 155, 2024.
Move the recommendation.
Second.
Okay, Barb.
So this is an error that was made on the contract. This was actually an error on the previous contract that was made, and when we applied the formula for the salaries, that both the union and I missed the error that was made correcting it before we applied it, and this just fixes that. So we talked with the union, they've signed the MOU, and so this just gives the mayor authority to sign that MOU as well.
This is one of those cases where it isn't no back pay, nothing like that. It
No.
was just caught, but, okay.
Yep.
Council have any other questions for Barb?
Do you have any idea what the dollar difference was between the first and the last?
Well, the initial on the contract from last time, it was over by it was a very odd amount of $2.30 some cents, but we
Per
didn't,
hour.
per hour, yeah. But we didn't have anybody in the position at that step, so it didn't affect anybody. And we currently don't have anyone at that step in the contract. When we loaded it into our HR system, it flagged it that would have been a decrease. So that's how we caught it.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Any other questions for Barb? If not, Chris will take the roll.
Councilmember Cavanagh?
Yes.
Councilmember Basu?
Yes.
Councilmember Galloway?
Yes.
Councilmember Hoffman?
Yes.
Councilmember McIntyre?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Resolution number 156, 2024, setting July 16th, 2024 as the date of a public hearing on the disposition of city-owned property located at 109 East Woodland Avenue. Recommendation pass and adopt resolution number 156, 2024.
Move the recommendation.
Second.
Okay, Zach.
Thank you, Mayor. So the city accepted bids for this property, and the best bid was in the amount of $35,000. This is the item that was amended on the agenda. We got a little bit ahead of ourselves, and we mixed up and we put the resolution to actually sell the property on the agenda tonight, but we hadn't done the resolution first to set the public hearing. So this is the resolution to set the public hearing, and then at the 16th, we'll hold the public hearing and hopefully accept that bid of $35,000 for this property.
And the buyer is?
Manny Martinez.
Okay, thank you.
And he was the highest for 35,000.
He was. The first bid was a tie at, I believe, 25,000. The two tying bidders had an opportunity to submit their best bid, and then he submitted a bid for 35,000, and the other was for $30,010 or $100, something like that.
Any other questions from council?
It's kind of nice when they tie.
Gary?
No.
Okay.
making a statement.
Okay, if not, then Chris will take the roll.
Councilmember Cavaness?
Yes.
Councilmember Basu?
Yes.
Councilmember Galloway?
Yes.
Councilmember Hoffman?
Yes.
Councilmember McIntyre?
Yes.
Resolution number 157, 2024, accepting work as final and complete for the Capital Lofts project and authorizing reimbursement from the final grant drawdown. Recommendation pass and adopt resolution number 157, 2024.
Move the recommendation.
Second.
Thank you.
Okay, Zach.
In 2022, the city was awarded an American Rescue Plan Downtown Housing Grant for the Capitol Lofts project. This was an IEDA program that used those federal ARPA dollars to invest in downtown upper story apartments. It's been a little bit of an interesting experience. It was originally advertised that there'd be a different set of procurement policies for it than what they ended up executing. So that's been interesting going through with the state. But we have gotten that project completed. We've been able to qualify all the expenses. The certificate of occupancy was actually issued quite a bit ago. These apartments are already occupied. $180,000 of that $300,000 grant has already been drawn, and we've submitted that final draw for $120,000. This resolution would accept that the work is finished. It was a total of $1.3 million to construct 4 apartments above the Capitol Theater. So this would be accepting that that work is finished, and when we receive that $120,000, we would reimburse it to the developer. The city had a zero match in this. It was all state money that went to this, or all federal money that went through the state to go into this. But it's been a successful project other than having to get through some interesting procurement stuff.
So the final payment will go back to Legacy Foundation, correct?
Correct.
Council have any questions for Zach? It's just kind of cleaning this up and bringing it to a close.
Hopefully very close soon.
Okay, if there's no questions, then Chris will take the roll.
Councilmember Cavaness?
Yes.
Councilmember Basu?
Yes.
Councilmember Galloway?
Yes.
Councilmember Hoffman?
Yes.
Councilmember McIntyre?
Yes.
This is the point in the city council meeting where I ask if anybody would like to address or speak on any non-agenda items tonight. Okay. The next one would be any communications from mayor or city council that they'd like to make to the public. I don't have anything specific tonight. Does anybody,
I do.
you want to bring up RAGBRAI?
Yes, I do. We are still in need of volunteers for RAGBRAI, Ottumwaragbrei.com. Go to the volunteer tab and sign up to help us.
Anybody else have any other communications or announcements that they'd like to make?
I have a citizen in the community that has indicated that they would like to make available their property to camp on if a group wanted to. It's big enough to camp for a group on. So,
Who should they get in touch with?
They should go to Ottumwaragbrei.com and go to housing. Or Zach's got this.
I can talk about that. So, I chair the RAGBRAI Housing Committee this year. We accepted writer requests through Friday. Hosts, they could either contact me directly or they could fill out the form on Ottumwaragbrei.com for housing hosts. We have gone through and we've just about matched everybody, so it might be that they aren't needed, but it'll be good for us to take a look and see if we can do a better match than somebody else.
Just one door outside the city in the county.
That's just fine.
Okay.
Yep,
I'll tell that.
the 4-H Expo grounds are maybe going to host some extra RVs and things, and they're well further, so that'll be just
Okay.
fine.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other announcements that anybody'd like to make? Okay, if not, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn our city council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Chris will take the roll.
Councilmember Cavaness?
Yes.
Councilmember Basu?
Yes.
Councilmember Galloway?
Yes.
Councilmember Hoffman?
Yes.
Councilmember McIntyre?
Yes.
We are adjourned 24 minutes.